Good evening and welcome to the Tuesday, April 28th, 2026 Finance and Property Standing Committee public session. Today we have in person Trustee Butterworth, Trustee Mahmood, Trustee Michael Chen, and online we have Trustee Jenny Chen, Trustee Pamela McCarthy, and Trustee Melanie Wright. I would like to begin tonight's session with the land acknowledgement, and for that, the chair will call on Trustee Michael Chen.
Thank you, Chair. We affirm that we are all treaty people and acknowledge that the York Region District School Board is located on the land of two treaties. These treaties have been signed with the Mississaugas of Credit First Nation and the First Nations of the Williams Treaties, who are the Mississaugas of Alderville, Curve Lake, Hiawatha, Scugog Island, and the Chippewas of Beausoleil, Rama, and Georgina Island, who is our closest neighbor and partner in education. To honor this agreement, we will take up our responsibilities to be respectful of their traditions, knowledge, and inherent right as sovereign nations. We will respect their relationship with these lands and recognize that our connection to this land is through the continued relationship with these First Nations. And we acknowledge our shared responsibility to respect and care for the land and waters for future generations. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Trustee Michael Chen. Our first item is the approval of the agenda. Without any objection, the agenda shall be adopted. Is there any opposition? Without objection, the agenda is approved. The motion is adopted. The agenda is approved. The next agenda item is the declaration of conflict of interest. If any member of the Finance and Property Standing Committee has a direct personal interest or direct or indirect pecuniary interest in any matter being discussed during the meeting, please state their conflict and the nature thereof. There's no conflict. So the approval of minutes. The minutes of the March 31st, 2026 Finance and Property Standing Committee public session have been distributed to all committee members. Are there any corrections to the minutes? As there are no corrections, the minutes are approved as presented. We'll now move on to our information items. The first item is the construction project, new elementary and secondary schools and additions to schools. For this, the chair would like to invite Senior Manager Gerard Paris to speak to the item.
Thank you, Chair, and good evening, everyone. Referring to Appendix A of the construction project report, which can be found on page 9 of your package, there have been no updates since the last committee meeting in March. I can report that all projects are progressing well and remain on schedule. There's been one minor reporting change to the background section of the report, which is on page 7 of your package. From now on, we will be summarizing the status update at the end of the background section to better identify what changed since the last report. For this month, therefore, you will see the note added that there are no updates for this month. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Trustees, are there any questions? Trustee Mahmood?
Thank you, Chair, through you. Just a point of clarification, we do see number of footnotes in Appendix A, right? I think they must have been before as well. So I'm specifically concerned about 3, 4, and 5, where we're saying that rezoning of the property and land purchase and certain things have to happen by certain days so that we can meet the timelines given in this Schedule A, right? Is there any way for us to know at this stage that are we in any risk of meeting those timelines, or are we okay with that?
Thank you. Senior Manager Gerard Paris.
Through you, Chair. So we're working very closely with the municipalities so that we can do these tasks in tandem. These notes were put there before we had open communication with the municipalities. So we are working with them. So for instance, there's rezoning of the property for unnamed Village Parkway. We are proceeding with site plan application while applying for the rezoning in conjunction with the municipality. So no, it wouldn't affect our planned timelines as we continue to work closely with the municipalities.
Thank you. Trustee Mahmood.
Thank you, Chair. I'm good with that. So one unrelated question which may not be on this report, if I can see. Some of the municipalities are jumping on the bandwagon where federals are trying to give some incentive. As today, for example, City of Vaughan also announced there's some exemption on some of the new constructions. Does that only apply to, so I think they're giving exemption on some, I'm not clear the term. So definitely there's some saving or incentives to have speed up the process of construction. Does that apply only to residential units, or we will also benefit from that as well, if staff is anything aware of that?
Thank you. Senior Manager Gerard Paris.
Through you, Chair. I'm not aware of any announcement today regarding construction and municipalities. However, we can look into it and see if there is any impact on our projects going forward.
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you. Trustees, are there any further questions? Okay, the chair sees no other trustees on the speaker list. Now we will move on to the next information item, which is the second quarter financial report ended February 28th, 2026. For this, the chair would like to invite Controller Sabrina Wang to speak to the item.
Thank you, through you, Ms. Chair. Page 11 to 14 of the agenda package is the second quarter financial information. So overall, as of February 28th, the board is projecting a balanced position, which remains consistent with the revised estimate we presented in January, with some update based on the actual result in the first 6 months. On the revenue side, we are projecting increase of approximately $3 million in the interest income, which reflect a slower than anticipated decline in the interest rates. This is partially offset by the projected $800,000 decrease in the permit revenue due to the timing of rate adjustment implementation. For the enrollment, the actual enrollment is trending close to the projection at the revised estimate time, with slightly increasing the pupil of the board, but offset by a reduction in the visa student due to the student status change. On the expenditure side, the board is projecting about $2.2 million increase in the expense compared to the revised estimate. Highlight of some key variances, we're projecting some savings in areas such as transportation and facility, mainly driven by a fewer routes and timing of hiring and expenditures in this area. We see some cost increase in the benefits, primarily due to the CPP enhancement, which we see it's triggered only when the earning exceeds the annual threshold, which is about $81,000 in 2025. So the majority of the 2025 CPP enhancement in the calendar 2025 is realized for the 25-26 school year. We also projecting some pressures in some other areas, such as mandatory police record check cost, which was not budgeted due to this is a ministry new requirement. And we also experience a higher demands for some spec-ed EA supply cost and equipment compared to the reduced enrollment. But we are managing those pressures closely and within our overall balanced position, which is going to offset by some savings in the other area I mentioned. In general, we are continue to track and the actual financial result, and we will provide the updates. You will find more detailed and supporting notes on the appendix of this report. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Controller Sabrina Wang. Trustees, are there questions? Trustee Butterworth?
Thank you very much, Chair, and thank you very much for the report. A couple of questions that I think are quick to answer, so I'll do them maybe all at once, if that's okay. So the decrease in permit income, do you think that's possibly related to the fact that permit costs increased? Like, do we have an idea of why permit costs decrease in permit income? So just curious about that. Number two, the police record check, money we're putting out, are we going to be getting reimbursed for that? How is that? Is that just coming out of our budget? And three, you talked about the change in EA requirements. Just a very high-level response. What do we mean by EA requirements?
Thank you, Trustee Butterworth. Controller Sabrina Wang.
I will start, and then Vidya is going to add something. For the question one, the permit rate, Vidya is going to speak about it. I think the rate adjustment was delayed a little bit. It's not the cost increase. It's the permit rate increase is delayed in implementation. But Vidya can add on that. Second question was for the reimbursement of the police record check. There are some collective agreement, language in the collective agreement. The board has to cover the cost for the police record check. And based on our recent information from ministry, there is no funding for that. So it is our extra cost because of the collective agreement. In terms of the EA, the question, we are comparing to our original, the staffing was, we deployed the staffing based on our original budget. The adjustment cannot be adjusted quickly. So that's why the EA has, compared to our reduced enrollment, the cost is slightly higher.
Thank you. Trustee Butterworth?
Okay, I'm not really sure. I'm just reading the line, and increase special education EA requirements. I'm sorry, I didn't really understand what that meant. I'm sorry.
Maybe I can try. So this
CFO
is the
Vidya Maharaj.
This is the second quarter report. So we have a budget, and after 6 months, we are looking at our trend data for where we think our expenses are going to land. So all that signals is that we needed to make an adjustment to our EA line to adjust our budget to say that at the end of the year, we actually expect that we're going to spend a little bit more on the EA line than we had originally budgeted back in June.
Thank you very much. Trustees, do we have any further questions? Trustee Mahmood?
Thank you, Chair. Trustee Butterworth, my colleague, have taken some of the questions from my list, which is good. Just curious, right? So this is, at this time, is balanced because we see an increase of, or the adjusted budget is you're expecting extra expense around 2.2, and then similar is net off being done from the extra unexpected income or revenue, you want to call it. But let's run what if scenario, right? If the interest rate would not have changed, what would have been the situation today? We would have been in negative, right? Is that my reading is correct?
Thank you. Controller Sabrina Wang?
I will try first. Yes, if the interest rate decrease as we expected, we are at risk of spending more than what we can generate for the revenue. But I think there are some other savings for the timing of hiring some staff. There are other areas of saving will offset some of the cost. That's why staffing monitoring very closely to identify area of the risk and monitor and make sure we are tightening up and be able to balance our, within our balanced budget.
Thank you. Trustee Mahmood?
I'm good, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions? The chair sees no other trustees on the speakers list. The next Finance and Property Standing Committee public session is scheduled for Monday, May 25th, 2026. Seeing that there are no further questions, we will move to adjourn the Finance and Property Standing Committee public session at 7:16 p.m. If there are no other items of business, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you to trustees, committee members, staff, and presenters for joining tonight's public session.